Hello there, my name is Jill Wotton and I'm a coach that helps people to transform from places where they feel really stuck and can't move from to a place of clarity, of flow and enjoying a real zest for life. You know, those places where you feel as though anything's possible. So in my experience, having worked now for 20 odd years with client sessions with many thousands of people, what I find is that the main things that cause that sense of stuckness, that cause people to be blocked on life's pathway, so they won't go for that interview because they feel as though they're not good enough. They don't enjoy social activities because they're not as pretty or handsome or slim enough or muscly enough or whatever. But they've just got views about themselves that limit the way that they feel and on a certain level cause anxiety as well. And it's these things, along with many others, which encode the way that we are now and our vision for the future. But I want to talk about the main things that I see happening. And the main things that I see with people that come to see me because they feel they haven't got a clarity of purpose, they don't know what they want in life, and they might feel that sort of low on self-esteem or confidence. And basically, it often tracks back to life's experiences. Now, our life's experiences are coded within our brain in many different ways. But there's a sort of a scale, if you like. If something is really frightening and really horrible, then it has a very high calling card. So the brain is going to remember it. So, you know, if we have a one-off horrible event, then our brain is going to really record that as a memory. And it's going to make us very aware of anything that is similar to that in the future. Say, for instance, if somebody was bullied at school, you might we're looking at a similar pattern, so you might just become really fearful of being in crowds without a friend or somebody with you, sort of on your side. And you might not automatically associate that with the bullying, but it certainly could track back to a pattern of that. Now, the other thing is just ongoing experiences that give us a level of emotion that is repeated and repeated and repeated until the body really gets the message. So it doesn't have to be a major event. It can be that we didn't do very well at an exam and we get told off, or it can be that we don't get chosen in a team for something. It can be just anything which makes us feel less than, not as good as, all those sorts of things. It can even be things like the way that our families talk about money. Oh, money doesn't grow on trees, you know, or, you know, you have to watch every penny, and, you know, don't you go overdrawn, and just like really loads of negative stuff about money from very well-meaning people, or, you know, our well-meaning, our caregivers in these situations, is what I'm trying to say, is they've got some blocks which they pass on to us. So this all happens at an unconscious level, or a level way beyond our conscious mind. So what basically happens is that somebody who maybe had a little bit of bullying, even if it wasn't massive, but became very fearful at school, can find themselves just fearful of going into new situations. Well, in order to grow, we have to go past our comfort zone. But sometimes what happens is, oh, excuse me, itchy nose. What can happen is that the body just draws up a level of anxiety or discomfort that just keeps us away from that. And sometimes these codes, if you like, in the mind are so that they're really low level, but they still have a huge impact on us. It drives us to do things like overeat. It drives us to, you know, limit what we feel as though that we can do. Takes away, you know, it robs us of getting real clarity and purpose over what we want to do. It takes away the possibility sometimes of earning more money and stuff like that, because we have these subconscious blocks. And you know what, half the time we're not always aware of them. They affect every relationship we have, including the one with ourselves. They affect the way that we raise our own children. They affect the way that we relate, both on an intimate level to a partner and to our wider family and our work colleagues, because these triggers get sparked off in certain situations. And all it is that memory has created a trigger, and it might be something like money, it might be something like not feeling good enough, it might be something like shyness, whatever. And what happens is an emotion of fear or worry or shame gets attached to it. So whenever we go into a situation, our vision is distorted by the lens that these past situations create. And it is in this way that our past experiences create the way that we feel, it creates the way that we think, and it just creates the way we react, the way we think, that we feel and react. And those three things are so important, so in terms of going forward in life. So not only are those things just replaying at an automatic level, you won't even be aware of it. That time you got a bit, peed off in the car because somebody cut you up, that will be a little bit of a pattern. That time when you met a work colleague and you suddenly just got a little bit anxious and you didn't hardly even know them and they were really friendly to you, there will be a reason, there'll be a bit of a pattern underneath that. And these patterns colour our lenses, the way that we view life. So it not only affects us in an immediate way right now, but affects the way that we see the potential for the future. And that is the way that our past can really rob us of exciting, limitless, real abundant relationships and work prospects, and really fulfilling our mission in life, getting really close to our friends and good relationships. It can rob us of such abundance in life. So this is why I'm so totally passionate about what I do, because I can help people like yourself and have helped thousands of people just unhook the triggers and the emotions from the triggers, which helps to change the lens of the way that we see the world and ourselves. And it is that which gives us true freedom and a sense of limitless possibilities.